I'm back. Hey, what's going on? I'm Matt O'Leary back with another video, returning finally. Before we get started, just wanted to mention you can follow on social media at Matt O'Leary NY, and you could also check out the Just Jets podcast. Yes, there's no episode this past week. I'll get into that. Today's episode is going to be a little bit longer as we're breaking down the Jets and the Dolphins and going into some storylines from the week. So not a full-length podcast episode, but going to be longer than one of those regular videos. Before we get started as well, wanted to do an ad read because we missed it on the regular show. So it's the holiday season coming up. Black Friday is next week. That means you got to be on the lookout for a nice stocking stuffer for your well-known friends. Well, today's sponsor, Manscaped, has the tools to guarantee you to win this year's stocking stuffer or white elephant competition. Manscaped is the leader in men's below-the-waist grooming, and they have served more than 4 million men worldwide. I'm not a math guy, but that's about 8 million balls if my math is correct. Get 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com with promo code JETS20. Get yourself, get a friend, something nice that they will remember this holiday season. JETS20 is the promo code. So, okay, let's get into it. Where was I? Well, as you can tell, my voice isn't even 100% yet. But last week, I've been dealing with an upper respiratory infection. I lost my voice from Monday through pretty much the entire week. And again, it's still not perfect yet, as you can see, but I was really, really sick. Got COVID tested. It wasn't COVID. Went to the doctor and got a prescription, and that's helped, but still just kind of in the process of getting over that. So it was an awful week, but I'm happy to be able to finally get behind the microphone and behind the camera and start, or in front of a camera, I guess, and start talking about this team again. So let's get into it. We're going to do really a whole bunch of things in once. As I said, we're going to do Jets Dolphins first. We're going to get into Rex Ryan versus Robert Saleh, and we're going to get into Mike White versus Joe Flacco. Those, to me, are the biggest things that happened this past week. So the New York Jets are hosting at 2-7. They are hosting the 3-7 Miami Dolphins. Neither of these teams are any good. Last year, the Miami Dolphins had 6 losses on the season. They were 10-6. Just missed out on the playoffs. Offensively, neither of these teams are that good. Dolphins 27th, Jets 28th. As for defense, Jets 32nd, worst defense in the league. Dolphins 28th. I think you could tell the reason why both these teams have losing records. So let's hop right into it. The Jets offense has been better in recent weeks, especially the passing offense. 11th overall in the NFL. I had to rub my eyes when I saw that. 11th overall. And it's been a combination of Mike White. It's been a combination of Josh Johnson. And it's also been a combination of Joe Flacco briefly, and will continue to be Joe Flacco. But ever since Mike LaFleur went up into the booth, the Jets offense has significantly improved, and they've thrown the ball a lot over that time, and they've gotten a little bit more aggressive. Are they at times a little pass happy? Maybe we can make that case now at this point, but it's definitely good to see the offense starting to turn around. Yes, I know the defense has been a problem. It's not good, but at least you could kind of hang your hat on some of these offensive pieces, especially the young guys. For instance, Elijah Vera Tucker, significantly better week over week. Elijah Moore, bigger role. Michael Carter's really established himself now. That's 3 rookies who are very involved in the offense, which is a great sign. And the Jets are going to get Zach Wilson back for the stretch run of the season here. So Joe Flacco getting the start. More on this later, obviously, as I'm going to get into Mike White versus Joe Flacco. But with Zach Wilson unable to go, he's not healthy enough to play, the Jets decided to run Flacco out there. And to me, the main reason behind that is he's going to be able to get the ball down the field more so than Mike White, which I think is why they turned to that, and especially off Mike White's performance against the Buffalo Bills. Again, I'm going to get more into this, later in the White versus Flacco debate. But for just what this means for this upcoming game, I think the Jets are going to take a little bit more chances down the field. And sure, they'll run the ball a lot as well. I'm sure they'll mix that in with Michael Carter. But against this Miami Dolphins defense, I think they're going to try to push it a little bit more and not as much underneath stuff, which wasn't really there against the Buffalo Bills either. Now, the Dolphins, they're coming off a big win over the Baltimore Ravens, an upset win on Thursday Night Football last week. So it's been a little bit of a surprise, and I think what's worked for them is the pass rush. Emmanuel Ogbah's been unbelievable for them, and they like to blitz a ton. So that's something that the Jets are going to have to deal with, I guess, in the sense of the word that the offensive line play is going to have to pick up the blitz. Now, the offensive line has gotten better. It's improved throughout the season, but center and right guard is still a little bit of an issue. Left tackle and left guard and right tackle has been fine. Not really concerned there, but pressure up the middle could be an issue for this New York Jets team. So look for that to play a major role. And maybe that leans into the Jets trying to run the ball a little bit more and to avoid getting a bunch of sacks. Or the Dolphins lead the league in quarterback hits. They get after the quarterback like no one's business. So it should be something to take note of for this game, and it will play a factor on Sunday. So prediction time. First, I'll do the Joe Flacco stat line, then I'll make my pick. I have Flacco going 21-35, which is right around 60%, 245 passing yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception. So about a middle-of-the-road performance. Not amazing, not bad, just okay. And my pick is I'm taking the Jets plus 3.5 here. I think they could actually win the game outright. I'm going to take them to win 23-20. I think this is a relatively low-scoring game. Yes, I know neither defense is good, but neither offense has been particularly good. And I think the Jets actually keep this one close. I think it's a close game. I think it's kind of a sloppy and ugly game at times. Again, neither of these two teams are that good, but I think the Jets steal a win here at home and get to they would be 3-7 at that point through their 10 games. And then Zach Wilson will come back against Houston next week, and he'll have the stretch run of the final 8 games, and hopefully he'll turn it around and look a little bit more consistent, at least in the second half of the year. So as for Casey, don't have a video, but she did tell me that she is taking the Dolphins. She always goes with the road team, it feels like. Both of us are 3-5-1 against the spread, so we'll see who comes out on top there. Now, for the other couple of storylines, Mike White, Joe Flacco. A lot of people online were bent out of shape about Mike White not getting the start, which seemed a little dramatic. I understand Mike White's game against Cincinnati was a ton of fun. It was awesome. I loved seeing the quarterback go out and throw for 400 yards and be productive, throw for 3 touchdowns. And he even had a nice drive in the Indianapolis Colts game where he went down the field and Elijah Moore scored a touchdown. I think what the Buffalo defense did was kind of a reality check. Yeah, he threw 4 interceptions against the best defense in the league probably. But earlier in the games against the Colts and the game against the Cincinnati Bengals and even the game against the New England Patriots, you've got to forget he played most of that game, the second half of that game. The interceptions are there. And while there are some flashy plays, I think we know what it is. He's a backup quarterback who can come in and start and be okay. He's not someone who's going to push the ball down the field at all. He's good at underneath stuff, even in the 400-yard game performance. A lot of it was checkdowns, which is, again, that's okay. But once teams begin to sit on that stuff, it makes your life harder, which then leads us to what happened against the Buffalo Bills. So while he's coming off a 4-interception performance, and I understand some people and just want to see Mike White and they don't want to waste time with Joe Flacco, it doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things because Mike White isn't going to be the long-term starting answer here. Everyone knew that, or you should have known that at least. And Joe Flacco, it's the experience. That's why they're going with it. And even if it's just to justify the trade, it doesn't matter. It doesn't. Flacco, White, same difference. Both at this point in their career, okay backup, which is fine. It's a good thing. Mike White will more than likely be here to be a backup quarterback, I think. But with Flacco, as I mentioned earlier in this episode, he can give you the opportunity to push the ball down the field, which is what Mike White can do. So for this game, if the Dolphins are playing cover 0 and blitzing a lot, could be an issue for a guy like Mike White, who, I mean, there's no opportunity for him to push the ball down the field, so they'll just load as many guys towards the line of scrimmage as possible, where Flacco has the stronger arm, has the deep ball ability, so maybe they have to play back a little bit, and then that way it allows you to evaluate other things and other positions. And again, both of these guys were just placeholders until Zach Wilson was healthy anyway. It's really not that big of a deal, and it's okay to say that Mike White, great performance against the Cincinnati Bengals. It was really, really fun while it lasted, but he's a backup. Again, which is fine. I think this showed that the Jets have a capable backup quarterback. Okay, good. And then getting to the Robert Saleh versus Rex Ryan thing. Oh my God. Okay, first, I love Rex Ryan for what he did in his first 2 years here. Coming in and going to the AFC Championship game in 2009 and then again in 2010 are my best memories as a Jets fan. You guys know this if you've been around for a while. I'm in my mid-20s. I'm 26 years old, born in the mid-90s, so I don't really remember 98. I started watching football around when I was 8 years old, so 2003 is the first year I really remember. And they had playoff runs in 04, 06, the Favre year in 08, and then 9 and 10. Like, that's my era of Jets football, and that I loved. And Rex was a big part of that. But Rex has this issue of playing revisionist history, where he's saying that, oh, don't ever, say that, compare me to Robert Saleh, that they're getting blown out each and every week. And sure, he never had the worst defense in the league, but these are very, very different circumstances. He came in and was coaching a loaded roster that was built by Mike Tannenbaum and Eric Mangini through the drafts in 2006, 7, and 8, in that range. And they drafted a young quarterback in 2009. And then Rex comes in, and sure, yes, he got a lot out of those guys. And who knows if that happens with Eric Mangini, I agree. But through the late 2000s, early 2010s, the more and more Rex got his hands on the personnel, the weaker the depth got, and things got bad. Look at the 2011 offseason. That was really the beginning of the downfall after the 2010 year. And then into 2012. And sure, you could even a lot of people point to the 2013 or 2013 season with Geno Smith. They overachieved. They went 8-8. Well, 7 of their 8 losses that year were by double digits. Like, it was either they won or they got blown out. And from 2012 through 2014, Rex Ryan lost 19 times by double-digit points. So it's not like they were this ultra-competitive team for Rex. He had his fair share of blowouts, too. In his last year, in 2014, one of the worst games that I remember as a Jets fan, the Jets played on a Monday night in Detroit against the Buffalo Bills. And the reason for it was because there was this historic snowstorm in Buffalo, right? Buffalo couldn't play the home game there. They didn't really get much practice time either. And the Jets got blown out 38-3 in that game. So, yeah, there were times where the team didn't show up for him either, where he's trying to say, oh, my guys played hard. That's what I see online a lot too, is the guys never gave up for Rex. They always played hard. Did they? Because at the end, as I said, 19 times they lost by double digits. I like Rex. He was fun when he was here. But at times when he's left, he's made it a lot about him, which I don't like. He took that firing very personally, and I get it. He loved being the Jets coach, and I appreciate that. And I appreciate what he did early in his tenure. But from 2012 to 2014, in particular, it was really bad. He wasn't a good coach. He was a below-average coach. And then he lasted, a year and a half in Buffalo and got kicked out there, too. It's over. And there are two really different situations. So I don't appreciate Rex Ryan shooting his mouth off. I think he should stay on TV at this point. I don't think he will coach in the NFL again. I think the NFL's passed guys like him by. Same with Greg Williams. So we'll see what happens there. But just didn't really like that from this week. So wanted to get that in. I am back. I will have the picks video with Joe out tomorrow before the Sunday slate. I will be around for post-game reaction, and we'll see how the voice is. Thanks for dealing with me. I missed making these videos, but hopefully you guys are back, and I appreciate the support as always.